from Houston, Texas, and around the world. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, we're getting ready to do this thing, man. But first of all, it's been a while. It's been a minute. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, because, you know, here inside the Hall of Fame is all about people. Oh, yes, man. How you feel, dog? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. Book, it's good to be back here inside the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. It's been since Mania. We haven't done this since Mania. You know, we've had basketball playoffs for our local ESPN affiliate. You've been on the road like crazy. You were hopping on. You literally have been the limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
Son of a gun. Yeah, man. Last week was awesome, man. I was in the middle of Times Square. Boxing, man. Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia, man, right in the middle of Times Square. That was so freaking awesome. City got shut down, man. It was amazing. But before we even get there, man, we got to mention the passing of Sabu. Passed away at 60 years old, man. I had a bad day. I had a rough day yesterday. I'm serious, man. And thinking, I didn't realize I was going to take it that hard, you know what I mean? But I swear, man, I could not motivate yesterday at all. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get going, really. Thinking about the passing of Sabu, man. Dude, man. Remember the first time I met Sabu? The first time I met him back in 1992. I was in Japan. We were staying at this little spot called the Tokyo Inn. And walked outside, and then my brother was getting ready to go to the gym. And a dude walks up and he goes, "Hey, man, I'm Sabu, you know." And we're like, "Yeah, Booker T and Steve Ray." Was like, "Yeah, man, I mean, what are you guys up to?" We was getting ready to go to the gym. He's like, "Is it cool if I go with you?" We was like, "Yeah, man, it's cool, if you want to go." And I was looked at Sabu. He had scars all over his body, right? I mean, on his arms, on his head, on his face, on his chest, everywhere. And I was thinking at that moment, I was like, man, do I got to do that to get in the business? I was so freaking scared. But no, man, I always had nothing but good times around Sabu, man. He was always quiet. He was always in his own zone. He always went out there and performed at his highest level and did what he did best. He was an innovator, man. He really was an innovator. I mean, the people right now still to this day copying, Sabu's style and, his in-ring, performances. So, man, I just want to say rest in peace to Sabu and condolences to his family. He had a hell of a career, man, and he will definitely be missed.
I echo your same sentiments and in the sympathies and the condolences to the family. It always sucks when we lose one of the guys or girls from this industry. And Sabu is one that if you have watched pro wrestling, you know the name Sabu and you know what he's all about. And I will say this. So when ECW started to kind of go under, that's right when I started to really watch, and I would flip between WWF and WCW, more on the WWF. So I didn't know a lot about Sabu at the time. But then I don't know if you remember this, like in the early 2000s, WWE was putting out all these DVDs nonstop.
Yeah.
The life, the rise and fall of ECW was the one that I remember seeing in the video store. I think it was called Latest and Greatest or something like that. It was in Baybrook Mall. There was a video store, and they would have the wrestling tapes, and they had this one called The Rise and Fall of ECW, and I remember watching it. And they would talk about some of the early stars in ECW, and they said the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, Sabu. And Paul Heyman, who's obviously a wizard when it comes to talking about anything, in particular pro wrestling, was describing Sabu. And I remember watching that tape, and Sabu was so over with me. I was like, this guy is crazy. And then when they did the WWE ECW in whenever that was, 08, whenever it was, when they brought the guys in, I remember seeing Sabu for the first time. And I think he and Rey Mysterio had a match for the World Heavyweight Championship on television. And I remember in the buildup, I think it was to that match, Sabu did a spot where he would always do it, where you'd have the chair in the ring, and he jumped from the chair to the top rope, and
To
then
the
through the
table.
table.
DDT through the table.
Yeah, right. That was his
I remember
spot.
that. Yeah.
But on this episode
I was just watching that today.
okay, so maybe it was the same one that you saw, because it was the episode of Raw. I'd seen a lot of highlights of him doing it, but on this particular one, he jumped on the chair, jumped on the top rope, and he stood there
He stood straight up.
For about a
Yeah.
second and a half,
Yeah.
like it was the easiest thing in the world. And for people, and then he did the flip through the table.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
for people who don't like realize, like that is like an incredibly high level of difficulty to like balance yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to balance on the top rope when you climb up it and get sturdy on the turnbuckle and try to stand up, right? I mean, you know that.
I can't speak on it. I can't. I've never done it.
but you've stood on the turnbuckle to do the Harlem Hangover.
Well, not really.
Because you would kind of do it and then go.
I didn't stand. I went.
Right.
It looked like I stood, but I really didn't, man. I was so scared. That's why to see Sabu do it like that, man, it just goes to show, man, how death-defying this guy really was when it came to going out there and pulling off some of the highly of difficulty of feats, man. He really was before his time. He was definitely different than anybody that ever came along in his business. And the matches, with him and Taz, was definitely freaking marquee like type matches. It had a certain feel to it. The matches he had with RVD, they had a certain feel to it, and those three guys, man, RVD, Taz, Sabu, those are the three guys to me that really put, ECW on the map, along with the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think probably the next wave would have been like the Ravens and those guys. But to me, Sabu
and the Dudleys, you know what I mean?
The Dudleys,
they won a lot of regional titles. But
they're a really good regional tag team, like one of the best ever. When you do like the top Philadelphia tag teams of all time, South Philly. Let's be specific, South Philly. But back to Sabu, I always bring up Brock when I talk about like a legitimizer. Like when you see him, you go, "Oh man, that guy! I don't want to mess with that guy." I think Sabu, in a different variety, not from a physicality standpoint, but from a believability standpoint, when you would see Sabu and you see the scars, which you could view them. This is back on like a grainy videotape. You could still see the scars that Sabu had all over his body from the, I don't know if he was gigging himself or it was the barbed wire matches that would happen back in Japan and things like that. That is a guy where you go, look, I don't know about the rest of the show, but this guy, this guy is crazy.
I remember he duct taped his arm, because it was bleeding like so profuse. He had ripped it on one of the barbed wire matches, and I don't know what the hell he found the duct tape, but he tapes it up as the match is going on, finishes the match, stuff like that, stuff that's made of legend. As far as Sabu, his name will ring forever in the history and the annals of times in this wrestling business. He really did so much in such a short amount of time in this business. He was an innovator, and I give Sabu nothing but the ultimate props, man. That's one guy we never had any beef or anything, It was always calm and cool and just chill, bro, with Sabu, man. That's why, again, I remember Sabu was in the dressing room when I had one of my Red Bull meltdowns. I swear to God, but he didn't even react. He was just cool beans through the whole thing, man. But he's gonna be missed, man. He's gonna be missed. Sure, RVD is feeling a lot of pain right now. Prayers go out to my homie, my boy RVD, because him and Sabu, man, those guys were so close and they made so much history together. I'm sure he's feeling it today as well. So prayers go out to him as well as Taz. All those ECW guys, they were all so freaking so close knit group of guys. I was looking at something that Bubba Ray had put out, and I think he said something like brotherhood, like only, ECW, something like that. But he's gonna be missed, man. He's gonna be missed by a lot of people.
And I think if you look at that 90s ECW, because they're the ones who brought Ray in before Ray went to WCW and then to WWE. I think if like you look at that era of Ray, Eddie, Sabu, and RVD, and you look at their styles, you can see a slice of each of those guys in 95% of the workers today, right?
Yeah.
From the acrobatics, from the theatrics, from the over-the-top bumps that sometimes they take. Those four guys in ECW had such a huge impact on the wrestling we're seeing today, and that really can't be overstated enough.
Yeah, I got to know we got to take a break, but unlike that 95%, those four guys, they were over. That's another story. That's a spoiler. Hey man, we got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Fellas, let's talk about confidence. The kind of confidence that counts when it's time to step up and deliver. And that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets designed to help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections. We're talking about getting in the game and staying in it.
And you know what they say, man. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And with Blue Chew, you can take these chewables anytime, day or night. So you're always good to go when the opportunity strikes. And the best part, the entire process is done online. No doctor's visits, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy.
Ooh, yeah. And Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is, offering you a whole month for free. It's simple. You sign up at bluechew.com and consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once approved, you'll receive your prescription delivered discreetly right to your door, made in the USA and ready to go when you are.
Now, Brad, let's get real. Does it work, man? They'll mistake you for a soldier at full salute. You'll be pitching a tent like a true Eagle Scout, man. Blue Chew won't stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. That's the mission, dog.
And listen, confidence is key, especially when you're all bricked up. There's nothing sexier than a man who's ready to go. And at bluechew.com, they can help bring that energy when it matters most. Don't miss out on what could be the best night of your life. Make life easier by getting harder. Discover your options at bluechew.com, and we've got a deal just for our listeners. Try your first month absolutely free. Visit bluechew.com, use the promo code Booker, and there's more details and important safety information. And as always, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast.
Oh, yeah, man. Booyah, baby. Welcome back. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, Brad. You feeling good today, ain't you?
I'm feeling good.
You excited? You all bricked up, you know.
You know what? There's a few things.
You hit that too, bro. You hit it hard. That's
Pause.
hard.
I love Blue Chew, but I hate that ad so much when I hear it.
Now, bro, you know what, man? If you really, really look at it in context, it's actually really good. It fits. It fits perfect.
Okay.
So don't do yourself like that.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what's worse. What I'm saying in the ad or that picture they got of you in a Steve Harvey suit on. Like, I don't know where you got that pinstripe suit. Was that when you were on the Family Feud? You took that out of the dressing room, you know?
You see my face, man. My hair is about shoulder length. My hair there is down past my waistline, man. That's an old suit, man. I hate those suits. The thing is, I took them and got them tailored and everything to try to make them smaller. You know, it didn't work, man. It didn't work.
You look like you're about to be the fifth member of the Kings of Comedy.
That's old suit. They got to change that damn suit. I don't know what the hell they thinking about.
I got to send them some new pictures.
Oh, my God. I don't have any of those suits anymore. Give them all the way to Goodwill, man.
Hey, you know what? Where do you want to go? Because there was some WWE releases. There's some online beef. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on in the wrestling world and community. I don't know. Is your favorite wrestler in AEW Benjamin Shelton, like it is Hulk Hogan's? Is that your favorite wrestler? Do you love Benjamin Shelton as much as Hogan?
I love Benjamin. Benjamin's pretty good. He's a hell of a worker. Hell of a hand. But nah, man, when should we start?
He's a hell of a hand. Love Benjamin Shelton.
In his eyes, man. I don't know. I'm gonna let you pick a coin flip. You flip it.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about some of the WWE releases because again, it's always so it seems to happen after WrestleMania. You never know kind of what's going to happen as far as some of the talent roster, but some notable names from NXT. More so, obviously, some names from the main roster, including Braun Strowman, who is probably the biggest of the names released. Dakota Kai was also a name. Shayna Baszler. And then when you talk about NXT, Cora Jade, Jakara Jackson, the Gallus Boys.
Got them all.
Big Body Javi.
Finished, wrapped.
All of them were released. Some of them look like they're going to be trying out different things, whether it be TNA, maybe they're going over to AEW, other services, what have you, online. But what did you think of some of the names that were released, and did it catch you off guard?
You know what? No, it didn't catch me off guard at all, man. I mean, that's the one thing. And I hear a lot of people, say, I was just like, one comment was like, WWE releases are weird. Man, they shouldn't do people like this. All kind of comments. And my thing is, I've been a part of WWE now, for a very, very long time. And every year, especially after WrestleMania, there's a list come out. Guys get cut. This is not something that's brand new or anything like that. It's just so touchy now, just because social media picks it up and they talk about it, and it seems like it's something that's a rarity. But getting released is something that's been happening ever since I've been in this business at a certain time of the year. Do you want to be on that list? Of course not. But this is a business. And that's one thing that you better always keep in the back of your head, that you might be getting let go sooner or later. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been planning to get that note for about 20 years.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
I know that's true.
You know it's true.
Yeah.
I've been preparing for what's next, knowing that they're going to come to me one day and go, hey, Book, man, we appreciate everything you've done here, man, but we're going a different route. I get it. I understand that. When it happens, I'm going to say, man, I appreciate everything y'all have done, and I'm going to move on. I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing over here and preparing for more important than anything. So that's my, word of advice to these young guys, man. Hopefully they are preparing for a moment like this, so they'll be ready, just to keep everything moving, man. So and it seems like it's a lot of bitterness about getting let go. I get that too. I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you right now, every job that you work at, I don't care what it is, it's going to be a chance that one day they're going to come to you and say, hey, bro, it's time to wrap it up. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I think that as far as some of these releases go, I think one thing to keep in mind is just because you get released now doesn't mean that that's the end of your WWE career. We've seen Drew McIntyre is the best example. Zelina Vega, another example of someone who gets released, and now look at where they are.
Not just your WWE career, your career,
wrestling.
Period. Your wrestling career is so much out there. There's so much going on right now in the wrestling business where you can actually make a living if you're good. Because if you're good, you're going to get booked. If you're good, they're going to pay your rate as well. You know what I mean? If you're good, no matter where you go, you're going to draw people to come see you. So you're an asset, man. So I'd say take this time and run with it. Seriously.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think all I'm saying in regard to the WWE career is don't do the thing, right? That's just my word to the talent, even though what do I know? But I'm just saying, don't do the thing where you go out there and you just trash something, right? Just don't do that. Don't do the tell-all podcast or the this, that, the third, right? Just, hey, look, didn't work out. Let's keep it moving.
Hey, bro, come on. You can't tell this young generation not to do something like that. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it anyway. It's just part of the culture right now. And my thing is, you could give them advice as far as, they may not want to do that. They may not want to burn a bridge because they may want to cross over, one day. And hopefully they're, heed the word of the wise. But these days, man, it's about going on social media and getting clicks. You know, and these days it's about, I commend the ones that do walk away from this, just like I did when I left WWE. I don't think I said anything about. I never went to a WWE show when I left the company, and when I was offered a chance to come back, I was like, man, I'm all in for that. But my thing was, I was thinking about my businesses. I was thinking about taking care of my family. I was thinking about, trying to be happy. One thing about this thing, man, stress, being bitter, it creates stress. Stress creates heart attack, ulcers, and all that other stuff, man. Bruh, life too short. Keep it moving, just like you said. Keep it moving. Seriously.
Right, and so many of these people I can see going on to having a great career in some other realm or in wrestling, and like you said, maybe even coming back to WWE one day. And there's several of them I'd like to see come down to reality of wrestling.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Cora Jade already said, I got my new career.
Yep.
And the thing is, Shannon Sharp, he checked it out.
Wait, she's not too old?
Bro, she's perfect. She's perfect for Shannon. What do you think about Shannon Sharp, man? What do you think about Shannon Sharp? Like my boy Trick Williams. Let's talk about it. What do you think about this dude, man? 54 years old, hooking up with a 19-year-old. What do you think about that?
Look, who am I to tell another man how to live his life?
Let's talk about it. How you gonna tell a man? That's what you say.
How about I go tell a man, look, he can do what he wants to in his private life so long as it's consensual, and I think that's somewhat of the argument that's going on here, but we'll see that play out in court or behind closed doors. However, I think that if you're a man of a certain age and you're trying to get with a 19-year-old, it's asking for problems. It is asking for problems. And Shannon, I think Shannon is an incredible entertainer. He definitely is a great analyst and one of the great tight ends in NFL history, top 5. You know what I mean? But going on OnlyFans to find a mate, you're going to have only problems.
Yeah. Being jacked up on Nugenics don't help either.
It's the chew, man. It's the chew.
I'm serious, man. But no, man, brother, I'm gonna tell you, man, when you get caught up like that, that's just bad. It's just a bad look. I don't care if he get off, as far as the trial go, the case go, whatever. I don't care if he get off. It's just a bad look, for a brother like that to put himself out like $50 million, and what's even crazier than that, they done locked up 80-year-old Smokey Robinson in one of these cases. He up for $50 million. What the hell is going on in this world?
I don't know anything about the Smokey Robinson thing other than I saw a headline, but I didn't look into it. But as far as Shannon, let me just say, bro, like the only other thing I would say is when there's a court case happening, one thing I've learned is you let the lawyers talk, right? And you let them talk in the courtroom or in a mediation or in a deposition. Don't put out statements. The people who are going to believe you, they're going to believe you whether you put a statement out or not. The people who are going to come after you, they're going to come after you whether you put out a statement or not, right? I think that my time is like real G's moving silence like lasagna is the Lil Wayne thing, and I that's what I would have done.
Definitely don't put out no tweets.
No. Or texts or screenshots.
All that stuff, man. Leave that stuff alone. Hey, man, we got to take another break, man. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, this is Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Fame. I got something for you guys, man. Look, when I was a kid, man, cereal was my jam. But now, since I'm a grown man, I'm looking for something that gives me more than just a sugar rush and carbs, man. That's when I found Magic Spoon. Look, it's a cereal that gives you the taste of your childhood favorites, but without sugar and packed with tons of protein.
And if you're already a fan of Magic Spoon, then you need to listen up to this because I've got some big news. Magic Spoon has taken that amazing cereal that we all love and turned it into high-protein treats. These new treats are light, They're crispy, and they become my go-to snack, especially before or even after the gym.
Yeah, man, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carb. That fruity and cocoa flavor are the classic ones, but there's a whole lot more to try, man.
And those new treats, they've got 12 grams of protein and come in flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Perfect when you're on the go or you need a quick snack to fuel up before that workout.
Yeah, man, I keep a box in my gym bag, but it's a great late night snack as well. Those treats have that crispy texture, great taste, and the macros that make you feel good about eating them.
So Magic Spoon's bringing back those nostalgic flavors, but without all the stuff that we don't want. So if you want to try it for yourself and get $5 off your next order, go to magicspoon.com/HOF. That's magicspoon.com/HOF. Or you can even find it on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store.
That's magicspoon.com/HOF for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We just chopping it up a little, talking a little this, talking a little that. Where do we want to go right now, though? That's the question.
Okay. I mean, look. We were talking about some of those WWE releases.
You know what? I saw a super chat as far as asking about the WWE releases. We might want to take that one super chat.
Okay, we can take this one early. Let me find the super chat. Oh, here we go. This is from D'Angelo Brown. Do the releases have anything to do with the signings of Rusev, Aleister Black, and the rumors of signing Mariah May when her contract expires in the summer? It's actually a valid question. There's
Really,
been a lot of talent.
That's a really good question. That's why I said pull that up, because
throw in also Ray Phoenix and Penta and all the other people they've been bringing in.
I mean, you got to. This is a business, and when you got talent on the roster and they're not really performing the way you want them to perform, they're bound to get cut. I'm gonna tell you right now, I got a small wrestling company in Houston. It's called Reality of Wrestling. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. And if we have guys on the roster that's not performing, we got guys coming in that's outperforming them, and we see it, through ticket sales. We see it through fans bringing signs, whatnot. We're going to be motivated to go that route. This is a business, truly a business about trying to keep your spot. It's not a business where, we got a union and all of that. This business is it's a performance-based business. It's about how many people you putting in seats. That's what it's all about. And when you're not doing that, you're at risk of getting cut, no matter who you are. And that's the bottom line to it. And it's been that way since day one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? When more people are coming in, that means your spot could be threatened, and it's also, though, it's not indicative always of the talent, but sometimes it's just not your time also, right? Sometimes it's just not your time, and for whatever reason, you're not connected.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've heard this said many times before. When guys get let go, we don't have nothing for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we don't have anything for you right now, and I don't know, man. I never believed in that they didn't have anything for me. I feel like that's when you got to go out there and make them create something for you, and that's the only way you're gonna get in this game. That's the only way you're gonna get in, is to be able to check yourself in. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be undeniable.
Bottom
right?
line.
You got to be undeniable.
Bottom line.
You got to keep on pushing. I think the creative has nothing for you is the equivalent of a girl telling you it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not you, it's me.
No, man, I'm serious. When we've heard that many times before, as far as that they didn't have nothing for them at this time. Now they ain't got nothing. That right there, I just don't believe in. I've never believed in that for my existence of my career, because they may not have something for me, but I'm gonna go out and do something to where they say, man, we got to get this guy in the game. Simple as that. And you ain't got to do nothing outlandish, out of the ordinary. You just got to go out there and do something to raise an eyebrow where they say, man, a tingle, something. I felt something. What was it? I don't know, but it felt good. Oh yes, man.
Please, nobody clip that out of context, please. because we were just coming off a different discussion in the last segment. I don't want them to mix those together because you just memed yourself.
What are you
Congratulations.
talking about, man?
Yeah, I gotta go. You want to go out there to where you feel a tingle, and you say, "What was that?" I don't know, but it
No, I
felt
say,
good.
they can clip the stuff from your blue chew head. You talking about getting bricked up. You know what I mean? So,
Nothing's sexier than a man
exactly.
getting bricked up. You know.
You know what's up, man. No, man.
Look.
That's really like I said, a good question. And that's a possibility. It really
And
is.
over the weekend, they just brought in Jeff Cobb. You know, Jeff Cobb was a guy who a lot of people were talking about online, and they just brought him in. They just brought Jacob Fatu in. They just brought all this talent over the last year. A lot of big names have come in. And like you said, Mariah May rumored to be coming in whenever her contract's up. We'll see what happens there. But, you know, if one spot comes in, one spot goes out, right?
Yeah.
That's how it works.
It's normally the way it goes.
So and it sucks. It sucks for some of them, you know, because like I said, I think there's a lot of talent who got released, especially in the NXT side. NXT women's division, they've always talked about.
Well, I tell you what, man.
Cora.
I think it's just going to open a lot of guys' eyes that nobody's really safe, and it's going to be all about producing. And you got to figure out, how do I do that? I'm not writing the show. I was never, you know, in the writing room or anything like that. But I always thought about, man, how can I make myself, you know, noticeable? How can I make myself a little bit different than the next guy? And a lot of it, you know, started outside of the squared circle. A lot of it started, you know, in the gym training. A lot of it was like, you know, showing up to the building a certain way and looking a certain way. I mean, it's so much goes into if you're going to be getting looked at a certain way or not. Yeah. So I advise these young guys that are, you know, sitting back and watching this play out, you know, in real time. Hey man, don't let it worry you. And I've said this before and people take it the wrong way. Step up your game. Like you said, make yourself undeniable. All right. If you have to be twice as good, do that. But the one thing about this business is it's not going to wait on you. And it's not, a lot of times it's not fair. You know, some of the guys that get, you know, put up to the next level, maybe they do got a buddy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe they did have, you know, some friends in high places that pull. That I can't sit here and say that's not true. It is true. But you cannot sit back and think about the next man. You know what I mean? And what the next, just like say, for instance, I can't manage that man's money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I got to think about mine and how I'm gonna get to that point at the same time. That's the end goal. You know what I mean? So that's what I advise these young guys to truly motivate yourselves.
Well, like I was saying, just look at it one side from the men, one side from the women. Drew McIntyre gets released. He goes TNA, goes on a little run, comes back, world champion. Zelina Vega on the women's side, she gets released, comes back, first ever queen of the ring. And now she's a women's US champ, right? I mean, you can come back from this and you can make yourself into a spot. You can create that spot for yourself, you know? And look, like I said, like in AEW, you could be Benjamin Shelton. You could be the real guy over there. You could be the man, Benjamin Shelton over there.
The one guy that you didn't mention that I really think pretty much put a, you know, icing on the cake, actually the cherry on top, and that would be Cody Rhodes.
Biggest one right there. There you go.
You know what I mean? Cody was, you know, he went out there and he banked on himself to go out there and get himself over to where not only is he going to be accepted back, but man, they can't wait till you get back, and they're going to make sure they do this thing a whole lot different with this guy because of what he went out there and created on his own. So he could have easily sit back and cried about it, whined about it, moaned and groaned about it, but he said, let me go out here and create something that nobody is ever going to imagine or think that I can actually do. And he went out there and did that. So I advise these young guys to come to Reality of Wrestling. You know, I've been talking to, you know, Javier Bernal. You know, I'm definitely going to be bringing him down to Reality of Wrestling and working with him. Oro Menza, you know, trying to get him over, you know, from Canada, you know, where he can, you know, work over here on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So, no, man, my thing is these guys if you got talent, pursue the dream. Don't let WWE define you. Do not put yourself in that bubble right there. Go out there and make your own breaks. And it's possible because, like I said, so much out there right now. Come to Reality Wrestling and work with us and help build the row. Because the row, I'm gonna tell you right now, is on the damn go, baby.
It is, baby.
Glory is coming up. I'm gonna tell you right now too. We got some big news about Reality Wrestling. We'll talk about that in a second. We gotta take a quick break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With Earn In, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
Earn In is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the Earn In app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly. You know.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earn In part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earn In.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earn In today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earn In now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Booyah, baby. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I was just talking about Reality Wrestling for a second, just to give Reality Wrestling a little plug. Of course, we got Reality Wrestling Platinum that we do every month, and then we have Reality Wrestling Glory on a monthly basis now. But I want to let everybody know, all the Road Nation, that Reality of Wrestling, the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena, will be going under construction. So guys, get your hard hats out if you want to help. You know what I mean? Get your steel-toed boots, you know, if you want to pitch in. But Reality of Wrestling will be under construction. So the next time you guys come out, get ready for a treat. We're stepping up our game at Reality of
I love it, man. I love it.
Yes.
You know, look, we had Reality Wrestling Platinum over the weekend, and people who got to watch it had a really great time. Especially, I saw a lot of great feedback from Title Match Wrestling. Also saw some cool social media videos that were put out by AJ Francis and the Reality Wrestling page with the Ray-Ban Meta Vision from our referee cam that was really cool. And I even talked to WWE official Jason Ayers, who said, man, it looks awesome the way that footage came out. And, you know, he's a primo ref over there at WWE. So shout out to everybody from this weekend. Go ahead.
So just in case, if you actually see this idea anywhere else,
first.
It was stolen from Reality Wrestling. I just want to put that out there.
It's stolen.
Yeah.
It was stolen from Reality Wrestling. Look, we're an innovator.
Ripped off.
Plain as day.
Jacked.
They ripped it off.
Uh-huh.
That's right. I just want to put look, we're putting it out there. We're putting it right out there right now. You know
We just say it.
Hey, let me ask you this. What did you think? Did you see the whole beef between the Young OG and Ricochet?
I did, man. I did.
What did you think of that?
You know, I think it's definitely where we are in this world as far as social media goes, where you see a young man like Javon Evans, 20 years old, and someone I think, if I'm not mistaken, someone made a comment that Javon Evans is like one of the best up and coming high flyers in the business. I think it was something like that. And Ricochet, you know, clapped back as far as him being, the best young, high flyer in the business. But Ricochet, 40 years old. You know what I mean? That's. I think Ricochet missed the point as far as what the question was more than anything. I just think, man, that's what we are in the biz. Just what we got to try to bring somebody down, opposed to trying to lift somebody up. Because for me, if I see that young dude, Javon Evans, and what he's doing, I don't care. I don't care who I am. I'm gonna give him props because he's freaking so good. I've been when I first got into business. One of my best friends, I saw him work, and it was in WCW, and I was like, man, it was before I got there. I'm sitting on the sofa watching, and I was like, man, ain't no way I'm gonna ever get to WCW, man, because this dude just way too damn good. You know what I mean? Ain't no way I can compete with this. And that dude was Too Cold Scorpio. You know what I mean? One of my best friends, still to this day, I pump that dude up, man, because to this day I say, man, I wish I had the talent that Too Cold Scorpio had and still do to this day. I wish. And to see a young brother coming up, to not push him to the next level, especially after what you've brought to the table. Speaking of a Ricochet, how he's innovated the game from his aerial assault, prowess and whatnot. You're supposed to be pushing for that guy, no matter what company he's in. That's just my opinion on it.
I agree with you. I think that you should definitely always look at the next gen and give them love. But I also look, and I understand it. This generation, or not even this generation, the internet age has brought about like, oh, we're supposed to go at each other and go back and forth online and blah 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 blah. Such a useless waste of time, especially when you're not building to anything. Like to me now, I want to see a Ricochet and Javon Evans match, and I can't see it. But
Exactly.
Some of the tweets, like Javon said, "I bet your brown egg head ass would squash me if Tony told you to. Much love, OG." So he kind of was giving him some love, but he was like, "Yo, if Tony tells you to do it, right, you'll be okay."
Well, the thing is,
but this is where Javon messed up. I just want to say this. This is where Javon messed up. He says, he learns from HBK or whatever. But then he says to Ricochet, now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead, right? I think that's a line. That's an over the line step. I know we're trash talking. I wouldn't have said that.
It's something there again. You got to understand that Ricochet is dealing with a young guy who's still a kid.
Still a kid, man.
Who does this social media totally different than you and I, even. I mean, me, definitely, but you as well. No, seriously, because he grew up, with an iPad in his hand.
Yeah.
When he came out the womb.
Yeah.
He had an iPad in his hand. You know what I mean? And now, just the way Javon Evans talk and the way Ricochet talk is two totally different worlds. You can feel it. You can see it. This young kid has seen some life. So you don't even want to touch that, if you're someone like Ricochet. But on the other, to your point, that's where Javon Evans is going to have to learn too, to lead that kind of mess in the gutter. You know what I mean? Don't go down to somebody else's level. If you do go down to somebody else's level, just go down to bring them up to your level. Do that.
Fact.
You know what I mean? So I say that might be, a lesson, for a young OG to take away from.
Just stay away from all that foolishness. You know what I mean? Especially when you're shining, man. Like you're doing so great. You're main event and stand and deliver, and you're doing all these like huge things, right, for the title. And so like just fall back on people who are trying to bring you down. Tell us about this Pat McAfee thing you've been doing. What's going on here? All of a sudden, I get a call on a Thursday saying, "Hey, I'm going to New York tomorrow, and I'm gonna be in the middle of Times Square with Pat McAfee." I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then there I was. I turned on DAZN, and there you are in the middle of Times Square with Pat McAfee. What the hell happened?
Oh man, Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, man, right there in the middle of Times Square, man. City got shut down, bro, and it was awesome to be a part of a history making moment, historic historical night of boxing. There again, city got shut down, set the boxing ring up right in the middle of the street. Man, they had thousands and thousands of people, out. It was almost like getting ready to watch the ball drop in the middle of New York City. That's the way it felt, man. I mean, it was euphoric, and to be hanging out with Pat, doing something like that for the first time. That was the first time him and I ever, got a chance to work together, and it was effortlessly. I mean, I wouldn't say it was flawless, but it was damn close. You know what I mean? And we had some fun actually talking about something that I love so much, boxing. But I give props. To Michael Cole. Because Michael Cole is the one who put my name in the barrel. Pat McAfee needed someone to help him out as far as doing the show, kickoff show, as well as the pre-show, post-show. I'm sorry, and they threw my name in there, and boom, next thing you know, but can you be in New York City on Friday evening? I'm like, heck yeah, I can be in New York City, and I didn't even ask what it was for. I just say I could be there.
I'll figure it out.
It played out so freaking awesome, man, and hopefully it's going to be something that can play out on a regular basis as far as the boxing go, doing a kickoff show as well as the post show. We got a chance to do on Saturday night. We got a chance to do the Carnelo fight as well. So I'm living my best life. I want to thank Pat for actually letting me be a sidekick for that night as well as the Canelo fight. But I was excited, man. I was so freaking excited, man. I I still got goosebumps a little bit. I mean, I had the credential with my name on it, and the credential said promoter. I'm like, all right, I'll be in.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Sounds right. But no, man, what a night. The fights. I mean, was it the greatest nights of fights? But the atmosphere was a little bit different for the fighters too. Being in front of only 300 people,
Right.
they had it corded off where only 300 people can get in, because it would have been a totally a disaster, perhaps, if they would have did something like that. Anything could have happened out there in the middle of Times Square. But I tell you, man, it was like a million cops out there. Everybody was having so much fun. And it went off pretty much without a hitch. And there again, I was just so happy and proud to be a part of a historical moment in New York City. And hopefully it won't be the last time.
Man, it was awesome to see. It was awesome sight to see. And then and I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee. And then, I feel bad for Pat, the damage he had to endure on Saturday night in that match with Gunther.
Hey,
He got some chops, brother.
He got his ass whooped, bro. You know what I mean? You know what? I hope he took my advice. I put him on the push-up program, 300 push-ups a day, and he definitely bought in. At one point, we were sitting and we were getting ready. We were just going over the show, just networking, spitballing some stuff, and it was a big cookie sitting in front of him, and he asked the guy, "Hey, can I get a piece of this cookie?" And the guy got ready to get the cookie for him, and I go, "See." He goes, "No." He said, "You want a piece?" I go, "Bro, I can't eat like that. I got to watch my waistline." I said, "You don't slip on a banana peel and look like this at 60. He goes, "Put it back." So he's on the routine as well, man. But we got to get out of here as far as our ESPN show. But our super chatters, guys, you guys stick around. We still got a whole lot more for you, but I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, Brad for all the heavy lifting. And until next time, guys, we love you. In peace. We out. Booyah, baby. Hall of Heat, man. Bad brothers, man. OG brothers from the hood. Oh, yes, man. I was in New York just a week or so ago, and like I say, the brothers, man, they treated me so good. Gave me so much Harlem Heat love, 110th Street. A lot of family members came out to hang out with me out there in Times Square. So, no, man, big ups to all my people in New York City, baby. Yeah.
I will say, watching that little video, I mean, it goes without saying, but y'all such a great tag team. And I forget how entertaining your brother Stevie is as a promo. He is so funny and good as in a promo, just I remember at Reality Wrestling, he used to say, And he would manage guys. And then one time he was I don't remember who he was managing, but he would always go, and you know what he's gonna do when you go out there? You know what he's gonna do to you? He's gonna put the squeeze on you. The squeeze.
Yeah.
The squeeze is good, man. I used to pop when he'd say the squeeze. But we're getting into all our super chats. So if you have a super chat, we're going to answer it during this segment here, Book. We're going to start it off right now with our first one of the day. This goes from Richard Jr. Hey, I want to see Roxanne Perez start a rivalry with Dark State. I think you should ask Roxanne Perez, call out and confront Dark State.
Why would she do that? Why would Roxanne Perez do anything with Dark State? I'm just trying to figure this one out. You know what I mean? Now, Roxanne's a solo act. She don't need no coattail riders or anything like that. She's going straight to the top. I'm talking about next year. Roxanne Perez, I predict next year, Roxanne Perez is going to have her WrestleMania moment. It's going to be a moment that you're going to never forget. Trust me on that.
Okay, so we're going to see some Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania. I'm all for that.
I said it.
What do you think of Dark State? You like Dark State?
I do. I like being able to interject, some young guys that we know they got something. They got talent. Let's get them in the system. Let's get them in the program. Let's start getting these guys some reps. That damn Osiris, man, that's a beast of a man. We definitely could do something with him. Sugar's definitely got something. He's a player in that group. Cutler James, I got a chance to work with him a little bit in LFG. You know what I mean? So I like Dixon. He's a guy. He's a good-looking kid. He's got a hell of a lot of talent, and he's one of those guys that could be on the roster where you say, we really ain't got nothing for you. You put him in a group like this, you create something for him. And then if he's good enough, oh man, the straight to the moon with this kid. So man, Lennox, definitely Dion Lennox. That's right. I said
Dion Lennox. Yeah.
Dion Lennox. Yeah. Definitely got some talent as well.
Yeah. So I mean, Dark State, Roxanne Perez, separate. We're gonna keep them separate. We'll see what happens.
Solo act. That's like me being asked to be a part of the NWO. No, we ain't doing it.
We ain't doing it, bro. Mike Woodson says, which wrestler times 100 would you put against a gorilla? This has been an internet trend. So, 100 Mark Henrys or 100 New Jacks. Would either one of them take out one gorilla? Have you seen this debate that's been going on? 100 men versus one gorilla, who wins? And apparently, scientific models show that a gorilla can beat 100 men in a fight at one time. Do you feel like the gorilla versus 100 Mark Henrys would still prevail, or do you think 100 Marks?
No, hell no, not 100 Mark Henrys. He's too slow.
Who, the gorilla or Mark Henry?
Mark Henry.
Oh, so you're saying the gorilla would beat up Mark Henry?
Oh,
100 of them.
100 of them.
What about 100 New Jacks?
Oh, hell yeah. They beat the hell out of 100 New Jacks.
I think they beat the hell out of anybody.
One thing about a gorilla, man, one blow. You're not going to.
Oh, you're done.
I mean, come on. I mean, this
guy.
You're
going to rip your arm off.
And then he's fast enough to keep moving around, as well. So you can't corner him, And I mean, that's not a winning argument right there to even try. No, get that.
Yeah. Not gorillas. Maybe like a
monkey.
Maybe some other animal. Yeah, I mean, maybe some other animal. I don't know. You know what I just saw over the weekend? I haven't watched the movie yet, but have you ever seen the trailer for a Roddy Piper movie called Hell Comes to Frogtown?
No.
I got to send this to you. It looks like the craziest movie ever made. It might be the craziest movie ever.
What year was it made in?
I'm about to Google it. Hell Comes to Frogtown is in 1988. All right. And here's the description of it. Hell comes to Frogtown, blah, 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 blah. In the late 20th century, a large-scale nuclear war ends in a nuclear holocaust. In the aftermath, Earth has become a post-apocalyptic wasteland where, due to fallout, most humans have been rendered sterile. As a result, the government places a high priority on those who can still breed, additionally, humanity now shares the planet with a race of mutant amphibians. And then it says that Sam Hell, which is Roddy Piper, is a scavenger, and he's recruited by the government to serve as a human stud, and he has to track down a trail of pregnant women left in the wake of his travels, and he's got to find these virgins so he can
Bro,
help populate the earth.
I heard enough.
You got to see.
I'm still wondering why you said sterile as sterile. What the heck is that?
Did I say sterile?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm from the South. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Sterile.
we say things weird. Sometimes I catch myself and I'll say theater instead of theater. So, you know what I mean? Like
You said sterile. I'm like, but I knew exactly what you was talking about.
you know what? Somebody at our one of our announcers, Emily, shout out to Emily. She said that where she works, that her employer, I believe, listens, or maybe a former employer or a coworker listens to the Hall of Fame. They say, "Oh, I love the show. I love Booker, but I can't stand that guy from New York that does the show with him." And I'm like, I don't sound like I'm from New York.
You got a little New York twang.
What?
Yeah.
I just said theater and sterile. He's sterile.
Did you get yourself when you do that? So that means you normally try not to do that, right?
I guess so. Let's move on to the next one. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Marcus Craig, what do you all think of timeless Tony Storm?
You know, I like the well, in the beginning, it seemed like it was just something that was over, and it seemed like it was, unique, different than anything that anybody has pretty much done. It definitely made her unique, and then it got to a point. It seemed like they didn't know where to go with it, and then she went back to, Tony Storm, and then she would flip out of it, and she was going back and forth. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I do know at one point Brad and I was talking on this show that was the hottest thing going on AEW just because it was so different.
Yeah, I think it was really different. And I want to actually give a shout out to Tony Storm. There's a movie that came out, Queen of the Ring. It's and it's directed by the guy, the son of the guy who did Rocky, right? And his name's Ash Avildsen. I actually talked to him the other day. And Tony Storm's in that movie. Does a great job acting. So you could tell, like, getting into a character is not something that she struggles with.
Mhm.
And Timeless Tony Storm was very interesting when it went in its run. D'Angelo Brown said, any fond memories working with Steve Mongo McMichael in WCW?
Mungo wasn't the greatest worker, I can tell you that. But he was a good dude, man. Mungo, I didn't run in Mungo's circle or anything like that, but I'd never seen that dude with a down attitude. He was always laughing. He was always happy. Baby, he always baby. Hey, baby. That was his favorite word to use, man. It was baby. And but nah, he was just such a cool guy, man. He fit right into our world. We accepted Mungo McMichael like he was a brother, man. And why, I don't even know. Maybe because he didn't act like anything other than Mungo. He didn't treat himself, put himself on a pedestal. He was truly one of the boys. And we loved Mungo McMichael, man. And we're definitely going to miss Mungo McMichael, man. I'm just glad he got in the hall.
So Steve Mongo McMichael, what was the name of the dog? Was it Pepe? That he would come to remember he had a dog when he was on commentary? Was it Pepe? For some reason, that's the first thing I always think about.
It sticks in my head once you said that, yeah.
Like this massive mountain of a man, and he's got this little dog with him on commentary. And I thought, what a funny guy. And and you know what? I was saying, and again, you said he's not wasn't the best worker. I don't know if he was the best announcer either, but I just liked his personality.
He's a good dude, man. Mungo was a good freaking dude, man. I swear to God, I hate, to have seen him go the way he did, man. He fought it. He fought that Lou Gehrig disease all the way to the end, man. He didn't quit.
Yeah.
He was a fighter. He was always a fighter, man. I just pray for him, man. I just pray, and like I say, pray for his family as well.
This comes from Cali Toenail. Fans spend all that money on those tickets just to let stupid and disrespectful and get booted and banned. My question is, with all these different shows and different arenas and workers, can they identify and keep those people out? So I think he's referring to the beer bottle that was thrown at John Cena which Cena played off, like it was nothing. But I mean, that can be a very, very, very dangerous thing, especially the bottle. And I think that arena has officially banned all bottles from the arena after that incident. You can't have a bottle at all. Normally, nowadays, any arena I go to or stadium, if you buy a drink, they pour it in the cup.
Yeah, yeah.
To prevent this kind of thing from happening.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
perhaps that one arena maybe was a little bit behind the times or had a different policy for some reason, but I don't know how you ban somebody permanently from a show. I think that's probably really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you can get somebody to buy your tickets. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of shows, you're not showing your ID when you get to a lot of these shows. You're just showing your ticket. You know what I mean? So
Right.
definitely going to be hard to ban somebody. But it's definitely, I've been in that situation before myself. What people throwing stuff in the ring. That was a isolated incident. It was only one person, who threw something, at John Cena. But there again, if it would have landed properly, it could have did some damage. And the thing is, a lot of people are questioning online whether it a work or a shoot. Normally we don't work stuff like that. If that was a work, that might have been the first time in the history of the business.
Well, and to me also, like what would be very strange about that being a work is it would encourage other people to throw things into the ring, and that's obviously what you don't want to have happen.
Yeah. That's
so thankfully it was just one guy.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think that was a work or anything. That was just a stupid individual trying to stand out.
I will say the one time I saw trash get thrown to the ring that was apropos was when the NWO was formed, and they were throwing trash at Hogan, and it looked right. Do you know what I mean? It just looked.
Oh,
right.
that was a beautiful scene, but it was just trash. It was paper. It was stuff like that. Stuff like that. Wow. I could take something like that, but when you start throwing beer bottle, that happened. Charmel and I in Austria, and as soon as they threw one beer bottle in the ring, I remember that show. It was my last, pretty much my last in-ring performance outside of my last night with TNA, and I remember I normally would do my stick and I would go out in the ring, out the ring, and I would mess with people and whatnot. And I remember this night I got ready to roll out the ring, and I didn't see any security, not one security guard, no police officers, not even guys with T-shirts on saying staff, nothing. So I was like, let me stay my ass in the ring and try to get up out of this night, right? And I remember it was me, Kurt Angle, and Scott Steiner. And then I remember Scott Steiner ripping the Austrian flag, just ripped it, And next thing people start throwing bottles in the ring. They just start coming. And I got Charmel. We got the hell out of there, went in the back. And I remember Kurt Angle coming to me and he goes, Book. He came back in the dressing room and he goes, Book, we got to get back out there. We got to go back out. And I was taking my tape off and I looked at him and I go, bro, I'm done for the night. Needless to say, I didn't go back out.
It didn't happen. Didn't happen.
It was so freaking funny, man. I was like, no, I'm not going back out there. Man. I was the only black person in Austria.
Maybe ever.
So, at least in that arena that night, I'm not going back out there, bro. Show's over, pal.
Show's over, pal. Yeah, well, no trash throwing. And I will say a little bit of breaking news as we're doing our super chats. NBA news: the Dallas Mavericks, despite only having 1.8% chance of getting it, landed the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft coming up. So they're going to get Cade Cunningham for sure. And they continue their streak of somehow always drafting the next great white hope in the NBA. They go from Steve Nash to Dirk Nowitzki to Luka Doncic, and they're most definitely going to get Cade. Very strange. Very strange. Less than 2% chance of winning. You almost wonder about that. You go, how is that possible?
Yeah.
The Rockets had an 18% chance. Thanks to maybe, I don't know. You've heard the old.
It does make you wonder, though.
You've heard the old rumors like, sometimes they put, what was it? It was like one of the drafts. They said they put the envelope in the freezer so that the New York Knicks envelope was cold and all the rest of them were warm. So when Stern went to grab it, he knew which one was the Knicks. Like there's all those conspiracy theories, right? You wonder about less than 2% after all the drama they had this year.
That's a good idea, though.
It is a good idea. People work the system here. Hefe Pilot said, "What's up, King Book and the boat? Hope you guys are doing well. I've been locked in on the 300 push-ups. I'm motivated and ready for the road. I'll see you real soon." Oh yeah, man.
Hey, bro, that's what first place to stop. You know what I mean? Seriously, when you wake up in the morning, just drop down and give me 25 and get you some sets in. Keep it at 25 reps and knock it out. And bro, you never know. I'm gonna tell you right now, it could change your life. It really can change your life. Seriously, I'm still hanging and banging after this set here tonight. I'm getting the gym. I'm gonna hit my 300. I'm gonna hit some crossovers. If I have some time, I might even go ride my bike. So stay on top of it, my brother. Stay on top of it.
And I meant Cooper Flagg, not Cade Cunningham. I misspoke. Duke, Cade Cunningham. Excuse me, Cooper Flagg. I get them mixed up all the time. Let's go on to the next super chat here. This one comes from D'Angelo. No, we already did that one. This one comes from Mike Woodson. I see the Road guys beating up Zilla and you talking smack on Fourth Rope Wrestling that aired yesterday. Are you going to appear on Fourth Rope in the future?
Am I going to appear on Fourth Rope?
That's what they say.
Is Fourth Rope going to appear at Reality of Wrestling? Look, we're the biggest thing going. We ain't got time to be messing around, shucking and jiving with these organizations out there that really don't bring a whole lot to the table. You know what I mean? So Fourth Rope, just like I said, they can get some if they want some. But their asses better be big enough and bad enough, and they better be ready. That's all I got to say about that. All right. And as far as Zilla goes, we're going to run Zilla clean out this business before it's over with. All right. I'm putting my name on that right there. We're going to run Zilla's ass clean out of the wrestling business. How about that?
Bam, look at that. We'll see what happens with Fourth Rope. Shout out to Westside Gun and Smoke Dizza. But,
Smoke Dizza and Westside, they can get some too. They can get some of the smoke. They can get some of the smoke.
Okay. You calm down, boy. Calm down. Hell. D'Angelo Brown said he gifted one subscription to the Reality Wrestling. We appreciate you. Callie Tonio said, BT, you okay? Is your fingers mad at your rings today?
No, dog. I came. I was doing some work. I was doing a little work, and I didn't. I rushed upstairs to the studio to get going. I didn't want to, be too late or anything like that. But no, I don't wear the rings all the time, though. You know what I mean? Normally, just for television and movies. That's normally what I wear.
Television and movies, baby.
Television and movies.
Let's see. This one comes from D'Angelo Brown again. Is there backstage heat between The Rock and Triple H? I don't know.
You know what, man? It could be.
Could be.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. When you're dealing in a testosterone fueled business, where you're dealing with a bunch of men, I'm sure there's gonna be some heat and some friction somewhere down the line. Then you got two guys like Triple H and The Rock. You got two alphas, man. I'm sure it's going to be some head butting here and there and again. So, hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's just say that.
Yeah, look, I saw JBL talk about this, and he was like, "Oh, I smell a work," and I know that's always kind of what we think when we think about pro wrestling, and it very well could be, but there's some odd things. But that's a whole nother podcast. I need more than 10 minutes to talk about all the oddities. But you know what? Triple H has been doing a hell of a job in that driver's seat for the WWE and continuing to fly that plane and keep it where it's at. And he's been phenomenal at it. And I know The Rock has an advisory role on the board of TKO in general. By the way, TKO is doing really pretty damn good too as a company with the UFC and Power Slap and professional bull riding, now getting into some boxing stuff. So I think that no matter what is actually happening or not, they're both doing a good job. Alex Cosentino says, I still want to see Harlem Heat versus FTR. You might be the only one. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, Harlem Heat, man. I think we had our last run, man. We had a hell of a run. 10-time World Tag Team Champions. Can't, rewind the clock or anything like that, man. And I'm not looking to go back and try to, repeat history. Nobody did it like us. And I want to kind of leave it that way, to be honest.
I hear that. This one comes from Alex Cosentino. Asked JBL about the '04 Survivor Series match, and he put you over. He said he loved that match, and his career would be missing something if he never got to work with you. You guys should do a watch along. I think that's a great idea.
I came so close to winning the title that night, man. So close, you know. But nah, JBL, man, he's a good friend, man. JBL's a real good friend of mine. We go way back together. You know, we started this business together, took our first trip to Japan together, our first trip to Korea together. He's got a photo in his book, you know, with him and I, you know, in Japan, you know, two young guys, you know, beginning this journey. And I swear, man, it was such a crazy freaking trip. He drank a whole bottle of tequila on that Korea trip. And he was so drunk, he threw up all over his room. The maid wouldn't clean it up or anything. That's how bad it was. But I swear, we've been having nothing but great times ever since 1992, man, and taking that first trip. What a good dude, man, and a good friend. Good friend.
I'm still waiting on JBL to come either inside the Hall of Fame or to Reality of Wrestling. You know, I've been waiting for you to make that phone call.
You know what? I'm gonna make the phone call, man. But I'm gonna tell you, JBL has had a resurgence, man. He's back out there. He's doing all the independent, you know, shows. You know, he's showing up in places like TNA, AAA, and everywhere. You know, so now I'm glad to see my man JBL back on the grind, and you know, just not living at home and becoming a hermit.
And what another great example of making yourself undeniable, right? When he made that switch, it's like, whoosh, we got to put the title on him now.
Bro, when he became JBL, he became a totally different person.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it wasn't about his wrestling. You know what I mean? That's another thing that's making news as far as Ricochet talking about AEW got the best wrestlers. This business has never been predicated on the best workers. Wrestlers. It's always been about the best entertainers. You know what I mean? And the best workers, you know, not wrestlers. You know what I mean? I never considered myself a great wrestler just because wrestlers are guys that do MMA, guys that do, you know, collegiate, Olympics. You know, Olympics. Those are wrestlers. When I hear a guy that goes out, you know, and do this, comparing himself to a wrestler, it baffles the crap out of me. It really, really does. You know what I mean? But as far as entertaining goes, as far as performing goes, yeah, that's what it's all about. That's where the money's at.
And our final one of the day is D'Angelo Brown. We already talked about it. But he said, what do you guys think of the fan throwing the bottle at John Cena? Props to John Cena for, you know, always being an ultimate pro. And thankfully they got the guy up out of there and no one got hurt.
I think they did. I think as soon as he did it, I think John Cena pointed at him and said, get his ass and get him up out of here. You know what I mean? It was perfect. It was poetic justice. You know what I mean? So, nah, man, you know, like I say, people these days want to be a part of the show. And I don't mind people being a part of the show. I'm always looking for the guys, like in Reality of Wrestling, it's this one guy, he's a math, you know, professor. And he sits in the same seat every show. And every time I come out, him and I, we have an interaction with each other. And it's nothing. And the thing is, he's been coming to Reality of Wrestling now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, at least 4 years. Him and I, we have this same interaction together every show. And the thing is, we've never spoken to each other.
Oh, that's so cool.
We've never said one word to each other the whole time, but it's such a great interaction. So, nah, man, I love for the fans to have their piece of the action and be a part of the show.
Let me say this, a quick story before we get out of here. So we're doing the show on Saturday, Reality Wrestling Platinum, and doing the commentary. Our commentary table is close to the entryway, right? Entrance to the building, right? When you walk into the building, one of the first things you see is our commentary table. So we're doing the stream live, boom, going. And about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through the show, I see it here and I was like, what is that? And I'm like, there's a bird trapped in this building. So I'm actually in the middle of the matches. I'm looking up at the rafter. I kept hearing this thing. I was like, am I? And I look at Chris Russo and he's like, yeah, no, there's a bird in the arena. I'm like, what the hell? We're at the restaurant next door afterward. And the two fans were there and they're carrying around a big cage with a bird in it. It's got to be a cockatoo or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is the bird, right? Now, the bird had a gimmick. He was wearing the bird on his shirt. I think the bird's name was Leo. He gave us some stickers about it. You were sitting there. he gave us some stickers about it. Two things that were hilarious about the interaction. And first off, he grew up watching you. And second up, the thing that made me laugh was they walk away, and I look at Charmel. I go, they brought a bird in the arena. And she goes, yeah, he bought a ticket. The bird had a seat. The bird had a seat in the arena. It wasn't in the rafters. It was in the stands.
It's crazy, bro. That is nuts, bro. That's what God. Just to let you know where we're going, man. And we had this one veteran, man. He said he suffered from PTSD, and wrestling has helped him so much since he came home. You know what I mean, with his PTSD. And when I came out to, cut a little promo, I swear, man, he was just barking at me. He's just barking. He's just talking all kind of crap. And I didn't say one word to him. I just let him bark and just let him bark. And he came to me and thanked me after the show, for just letting him get his frustrations out, and be a part of the show, So no, it is so freaking awesome to be able to create those moments and have those moments with our fans, man. Because wrestling, man, I always say, man, at all the conventions I've done, all the places I've gone and all the people I've talked to over the years, man, I've never heard one bad wrestling story. So we appreciate those guys for coming out and being a part of reality wrestling on a monthly basis and hopefully a yearly basis and to the end of time, man. So, hey, man, want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame as well. All the super chatters, man, all you super chatters, man, we appreciate you guys. We really, really do. You guys make this thing work. For you guys, it wouldn't be no Hall of Fame with Brad Gilmore and Booker T. So, man, I got to get out of here, man. I got to get ready to go to NXT in the morning, man. And as well as we taping the second season of LFG. And I know you guys been off in LFG, man. I know you guys been off into my team. Things look like it's trying to shift here at the end of the day for my team. But, it's a word for it. Sabotage. That's another story. But I want to thank you guys, all you super chatters, for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Brad, all the heavy lifting. Until next time, guys. Boom. We out.